Comfort is the poison that weakens entire generations. It creeps in quietly, through endless scrolling, cheap pleasures, and the constant need for distraction, until discipline, strength, and clarity are destroyed. While most people drown in ease, the Stoics left us a brutal antidote, a way of living forged in hardship, sharpened by reality, and proven on the battlefield of life itself. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while surrounded by betrayal, war, and plague. Epictetus was born a slave, crippled, and yet became one of the greatest teachers of resilience. Seneca, constantly targeted by political enemies, wrote with fire about mastering fear and anger. These men didn't preach comfort. They embodied strength through suffering, and their words are not philosophy for the classroom. They are weapons for survival in a chaotic world. This is not motivational fluff. What follows are 8 ruthless Stoic laws, designed to harden your mind, sharpen your spirit, and make you unshakable in the face of adversity. These laws demand sacrifice. They demand discomfort. They demand a level of honesty most people run from. But if you live them, you won't just survive this world. You'll dominate it with calm, clarity, and relentless power. Pay attention, absorb each law, and more importantly, apply them. Because in a world built to weaken you, this might be the only path left to real strength. The first Stoic law is merciless. Seek discomfort or become its victim. Life is not meant to be easy. The moment you chase comfort, you surrender your strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Every obstacle, every hardship, every sting of pain is not a curse. It is your training ground. Modern life teaches you the opposite. It whispers, avoid struggle, take shortcuts, numb your pain with distractions. That's why people are fragile, quick to break at the slightest inconvenience. The Stoic path flips this weakness upside down. Cold showers, early mornings, fasting, relentless discipline. These are not punishments, they are sharpening stones. By choosing voluntary discomfort, you strip weakness out of your system before life forces it on you. Epictetus lived this truth more than anyone. Born into slavery, crippled, mocked, and denied freedom, he could have cursed his fate. Instead, he mastered it. He said, "Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as, it actually will. Then your life will flow well." That is the essence of embracing discomfort, not just tolerating what you cannot change, but actively training to thrive in it. Do not wait for life to break you. Break yourself daily so that nothing outside can touch you. Make discomfort your companion, your teacher, your weapon, because the man who welcomes pain is untouchable by it. The second Stoic law is brutal in its simplicity. Control what you can, release what you cannot. Everything else is wasted energy. Most people bleed their lives dry trying to bend reality to their will, crying over betrayal, obsessing over recognition, raging against things outside their reach. But Epictetus carved this into stone. Some things are up to us, and some are not. That line alone separates the strong from the broken. Think about it. You cannot command the weather, politics, other people's opinions, or even the certainty of tomorrow. But you control your thoughts, your actions, your character, and that's all a warrior truly needs. Marcus Aurelius, ruling the most powerful empire on earth, understood this law so deeply that he wrote nightly reminders to himself. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The man who wastes no energy on the uncontrollable becomes unstoppable. When insulted, he remains calm. When betrayed, he stays unmoved. When fortune collapses, he builds again. Because his fortress is internal, not external. That is the Stoic advantage. It cuts chains you didn't even realize you wore. Master this law, and you'll walk through chaos like a blade through smoke. The third Stoic law strikes where most people are weakest: emotions, anger, fear, envy, and despair. These are the invisible chains that enslave the modern mind. You see it everywhere. People exploding online over comments, collapsing at rejection, drowning in jealousy when others succeed. They are not free. They are ruled by their emotions like cattle, driven by the whip. But the Stoics made war against this tyranny. Seneca wrote, A man who is angry is not only miserable himself, but is also the cause of misery in others. To give your mind over to uncontrolled emotion is to hand your life to chaos. That's why Stoicism demands a ruthless mastery of self. Emotions will come, they are human, but your response is sovereign. Marcus Aurelius battled daily with rage and grief as emperor, yet he reminded himself, "You shouldn't give circumstances the power to rouse anger, for they don't care at all. That is power, to stand unshaken when others break, to remain calm when storms tear the world apart." Imagine the strength of the man who feels fear yet acts with courage, who feels pain yet refuses surrender, who feels insult yet answers with silence. That man is iron. You cannot kill emotion itself, but you can kill its rule over you. Train your reason to sit on the throne. Let emotions knock, but never let them rule your house. Discipline is the forge where the Stoic warrior is made. Without it, all philosophy collapses into empty words. The world today worships motivation, that fleeting spark that dies at the first sign of fatigue. But the Stoics built something harder, sharper, and indestructible: discipline. Discipline does not care about your feelings. Discipline does not wait for inspiration. Discipline is action, repeated until it becomes unshakable steel. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom is not doing whatever you want. It is ruling over yourself so completely that laziness, weakness, and distraction have no power over you. Discipline is waking up when you don't want to, training when your body begs for rest, writing, building, working, even when your mind screams for comfort. This is the battlefield where warriors are separated from cowards. Marcus Aurelius lived under crushing responsibilities. Every day he was tempted to give in to exhaustion, to stay in bed. But he wrote to himself, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I have to go to work,' as a human being." That single reminder fueled an emperor. The undisciplined man is a slave to impulse. The disciplined man is a king, no matter how poor or powerless he looks. Build your discipline brick by brick, and soon nothing, not fatigue, not temptation, not chaos, will break you. Death terrifies the weak because they live as if they were immortal. They waste days in distraction, postpone what matters, and cling desperately to illusions of permanence. But the Stoics shattered this lie with one brutal truth: memento mori. Remember that you must die. Far from being dark, this practice was liberation. By facing death, they stripped it of its power. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Every day spent in hesitation, in fear, in meaningless indulgence is a day stolen from your life. The man who stares death in the face wastes nothing. He acts with urgency, speaks with honesty, and lives without regret. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." To remember death is to sharpen life. Imagine carrying this awareness. Each sunrise could be your last. Would you waste it scrolling? Would you waste it in petty arguments? Or would you act as a warrior with clarity and purpose? The Stoic does not beg for more time. He prepares to let go at any moment, knowing he has lived fully. Death is not his enemy. It is his teacher, the shadow that reminds him to live fiercely today. The sixth Stoic law is ruthless. Seek hardship before life forces it upon you. Most people avoid struggle at all costs, running from discomfort like it's poison. The Stoics trained in pain deliberately. They fasted, endured cold, slept on hard floors, and embraced rejection, all to forge minds that could not be broken. Seneca wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress." Is this the condition I feared? By voluntarily stepping into hardship, you strip fear from your system. You learn that suffering is not fatal, that endurance is your birthright, that discipline is a superpower. Voluntary hardship is not masochism, it is preparation. A cold shower when you crave warmth, fasting when your body screams for food, waking before dawn to train while the world sleeps, saying no to fleeting pleasures to strengthen your will. Each act is a declaration. I am stronger than my cravings. I am unshakable. I am a Stoic. The world will hit harder than you ever imagined. But if you have already walked into fire willingly, the blows will bounce off. Your mind becomes a fortress. You become unstoppable, not because life is easier, but because you are ready for the storm. The seventh Stoic law is deceptively simple, yet devastatingly powerful. Detach from outcomes. The world is obsessed with results, winning, being admired, hitting targets. But attachment to what may or may not happen is a trap. Every disappointment, every frustration, every moment of despair is born from clinging to the uncontrollable. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is achieved by disregarding things beyond our control. Success, failure, praise, criticism, they are all external. Your power, your true sovereignty, exists only in your effort, your process, your choices. When you fall in love with the work itself instead of the result, you rise above fear, doubt, and the shallow tyranny of validation." Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." That is mastery, showing up relentlessly, not for applause, not for reward, but because your discipline and integrity demand it. The Stoic does not tie his worth to outcomes. He ties it to action. Detach, act, repeat, work, create, fight, and live with ferocity, without needing validation from a world that is often blind to your effort. The more you practice this, the more unstoppable you become. Your mind becomes unshakable, your spirit unbreakable, and your life unstoppable. The eighth and final Stoic law is the crown jewel. Live for virtue, not for approval. Most people sacrifice integrity for applause, compromise principles for praise, and trade authenticity for validation. But the Stoic moves differently. Marcus Aurelius said, "Just that you do the right thing, the rest doesn't matter." Your life is measured not by recognition, but by adherence to your values. Speak truth, act honorably, and keep your word, even if no one sees, applauds, or understands. Seneca reminded us, "I will govern my life and thoughts as if the whole world were to see the one and read the other." That is real power. The world can strip you of status, fortune, and followers, but it cannot take your integrity. Each choice you make to do what is right sharpens your edge, molds your character, and builds a life no chaos can crumble. Now, combine all 8 laws. Embrace discomfort, master control, kill the tyrant of emotion, build unbreakable discipline, contemplate death, practice voluntary hardship, detach from outcomes, and live for virtue. This is the Stoic path. It is not easy, it is not comforting, but it is unstoppable. Take this knowledge and act. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait for inspiration. Begin now. Train your mind, face struggle, stand firm, live with urgency, and when life tests you, you will not falter. You will rise. If this message ignited something in you, do not let it fade. Like this video. Comment your favorite law. Share it with someone who needs the wake-up call. Subscribe and join a community of warriors, thinkers, and real ones who choose strength over comfort, action over delay, and mastery over chaos. Remember, showing up, choosing virtue, and embracing struggle will make you unstoppable. Your life is your training ground. Own it.